Welcome to Let's Remember. Today, we're taking it back to Boyz n the Hood, a movie that wasn't just a story, but a reflection of real life for so many of us. It showed us Ricky's dreams, Doughboy's pain, Trey's hope, and the harsh reality that still hits home today. This film was a mirror for the culture, and its cast made it unforgettable. So today, we're giving flowers to the people who brought these characters to life and showing love to where they are now. Doughboy, played by Ice Cube in Boyz n the Hood, wasn't just a gangsta, he was a mirror of the reality so many faced. He was rough, loyal, and angry, but deep down, you saw the hurt of a young man who never got a real chance. That scene when Ricky dies and Doughboy's pain turns into quiet rage still hits hard, and when he says, either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood, it's one of the realest lines ever put on film. This was Ice Cube's first movie, but he delivered it with raw honesty, proving he was more than just a rapper. And unlike many, Cube didn't fade. He built a legacy, creating Friday, Barbershop, and stepping into comedy, producing and directing on his own terms. Now 56, Ice Cube is a father, a businessman, and a cultural icon. But for many, he will always be Doughboy, the young man who showed us the pain and reality behind the headlines, and made us remember that every life in the hood matters. Up next is Morris Chestnut, who broke our hearts as Ricky in Boyz n the Hood. He was the promising athlete, trying to escape the violence around him, holding on to dreams of a football scholarship. Ricky wasn't just a character, he was hope in a place that didn't give much of it. And when he was taken, it felt like we all lost something. Morris brought a quiet strength to Ricky, making us believe in his dreams. And that moment with the football slipping from his hands is one of the most powerful in black cinema. But unlike Ricky, Morris Chestnut's story didn't end there. He became one of Black Hollywood's most consistent leading men, starring in The Best Man, The Brothers, and Two Can Play That Game, always bringing charm and depth to every role. Now 56, Morris is still working in film and TV, carrying that same strength that made us love him as Ricky. No matter how many roles he plays, we'll always remember him as the young man running with dreams, reminding us just how precious life really is. Up next is Trey, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. in Boyz n the Hood. Trey was the young man trying to do everything right, balancing the lessons from his father with the harsh reality of the streets around him. He wanted a future, he wanted to escape, and he wanted to survive. Trey wasn't just another kid in South Central. He was the example of what could happen when a young black man has guidance, even in a broken system. His bond with Ricky, his loyalty, and that moment when he breaks down after almost losing himself to violence showed just how human he was. Cuba Gooding Jr. brought heart and authenticity to Trey, making you feel every moment of fear, hope, and frustration. It was a performance that connected deeply, and it helped launch Cuba into a career filled with memorable roles, including his Oscar-winning performance in Jerry Maguire. Now 57, Cuba has faced ups and downs in his career, but no matter what, he will always be remembered as Trey, the young man who made it out, showing us that with love, discipline, and a little hope, survival is possible, even when the world feels stacked against you. Up next is Furious Styles, played by Laurence Fishburne in Boyz n the Hood. Furious wasn't just Trey's father, he was the wisdom and backbone of the neighborhood, teaching lessons about manhood, responsibility, and the system stacked against young black men. Furious knew the streets, but he also knew the importance of discipline and self-respect. His talks with Trey about gentrification, violence, and the value of life weren't just for his son, they were for every young brother watching, showing that you can't let your environment define you. Laurence Fishburne brought a quiet power to Furious, making him one of the most respected black father figures in cinema. At just 30 years old during filming, Fishburne played the role with a maturity and strength that felt real, leaving us with lessons that still hold weight today. Now 64, Laurence Fishburne has built an iconic career with roles in The Matrix, What's Love Got to Do with It, and Blackish. But for many, he will always be Furious Styles, the father who reminded us that knowledge, love, and accountability are the true keys to survival and growth. Let's turn our attention to Reva Styles, played by Angela Bassett in Boyz n the Hood. Reva was Trey's mother, a strong black woman who knew what it meant to sacrifice for her child's future. She sent Trey to live with his father, not because she didn't care, but because she wanted him to have the guidance she couldn't give alone. Reva showed strength, vulnerability, and love all at once, representing so many single black mothers fighting to protect their children from the streets while trying to build a better life. That scene where she checks Furious and reminds him that Trey is still her son too is one of the most powerful moments in the film. Angela Bassett was just 33 years old at the time, bringing grace and quiet fire to Reva, making every moment she was on screen count. This role was just one of many that showcased her talent, leading to an incredible career with unforgettable performances in What's Love Got to Do with It, Waiting to Exhale, and Black Panther. Now 66, Angela Bassett remains one of Hollywood's most respected and loved actresses. But no matter how many legendary roles she takes on, she will always be remembered as Reva Styles, the mother who showed us the strength, love, and sacrifices of black motherhood. Coming up, we have Brandy, played by Nia Long in Boyz n the Hood. Brandy was Trey's girlfriend, the quiet strength by his side as he tried to find his way through the chaos around him. She was smart, focused, and determined to build a future, showing that even in the middle of struggle, young black women were holding tight to their dreams. Brandy represented hope and stability, always encouraging Trey to stay out of trouble and think bigger. Their relationship felt real and honest, with Brandy's calm presence balancing Trey's frustration and fear. Nia Long was just 20 years old at the time, bringing warmth and authenticity to Brandy, making her a character so many young black women saw themselves in. This role was only the beginning for Nia, who went on to become a staple in black cinema with classics like Love Jones, The Best Man, and Friday. Now 54, Nia Long continues to inspire with her talent and grace. But for many, she will always be remembered as Brandy, the young woman who showed us the quiet power of love, faith, and vision when the world feels like it's falling apart. We can't forget about Tyra Ferrell as Brenda in Boyz n the Hood. Brenda was a single mother doing her best in a world working against her, trying to protect her sons with what little she had. She clearly favored Ricky over Doughboy, pouring all her hopes into Ricky's football dreams, while often looking at Doughboy with disappointment. It was a painful but real dynamic, showing how many young black men can feel pushed aside, even at home, and how that can shape their path. Tyra was just 29 at the time, bringing raw honesty to Brenda, making her feel like the mothers and aunties many of us know. She went on to shine in Jungle Fever, White Men Can't Jump, and Poetic Justice, leaving her mark on black cinema. Now 62, Tyra Ferrell may not always be in the spotlight, but for many she will always be Brenda, the mother who showed us the quiet heartbreak, strength, and hard choices of black motherhood. Now, let's highlight Shalikica, played by the one and only Regina King in Boyz n the Hood. Shalikica wasn't a main character, but she brought that realness and attitude Regina is known for. She was always hanging out with Doughboy, part of the South Central crew, posted up on the porch, talking trash and giving that classic side-eye. Shalikica represented the young women in the neighborhood, tough, loyal, and navigating life in a world surrounded by chaos. Regina was just 20 at the time, but even in that small role, you could see the star she was becoming. That was only the beginning for Regina King, who went on to shine in Friday, Poetic Justice, and Jerry Maguire, eventually becoming an Oscar and Emmy-winning actress and director. Now 54, Regina continues to inspire, but for many, she'll always be Shalikica, the sharp, funny voice from the block that made Boyz n the Hood feel so real. Up next is the knucklehead who shot Ricky, played by Lloyd Avery II in Boyz n the Hood. He was a member of the rival gang that was always beefing with Doughboy, Ricky, and Trey, representing the real tension and danger that was part of growing up in South Central. Lloyd was just 22 at the time, bringing a chilling realism to the role that made Ricky's death one of the most unforgettable scenes in black cinema. Sadly, Lloyd's life took a dark turn after the film. He got involved in crime himself and was sent to prison, where he died in 2005 at the age of 36. It's a tragic reflection of how art and life can collide, and a reminder of the real struggles that many young black men face beyond the screen. Lloyd Avery may have played the knucklehead in the movie, but his story is a cautionary tale that makes the message of Boyz n the Hood hit even harder. And then we have Alicia Rogers as Chenise, Ricky's girlfriend in Boyz n the Hood. Chenise was young but held big hopes for their little family. She and Ricky had a child together, and she believed that his football scholarship would be their ticket to a better life, a way out of the struggle and into a future with real possibilities. But that dream was cut short when Ricky was killed, leaving Chenise to face the reality of raising their child alone, carrying all the weight of what could have been. Alicia Rogers was just 16 years old at the time, yet she brought so much heart and hope to the role, making Chenise feel real and relatable. Now 50, Alicia stepped away from acting for a while, but will always be remembered for playing Chenise, the young mother who reminded us that behind every lost life is a family, and a future that never got the chance to grow. Up next is Dookie, played by Dedric Gobert in Boyz n the Hood. Dookie was part of Doughboy's crew, always seen with a pacifier in his mouth, chilling on the block, riding in the car, and repping the neighborhood. Dookie didn't have many lines, but his presence was felt, representing the young dudes in the hood who were just there, caught up in the environment, rolling with their boys, and living day by day with the streets as their world. Dedric Gobert was just 19 at the time, and Boyz n the Hood was his breakout role, leading to appearances in Poetic Justice and Higher Learning. Sadly, Dedric's life was cut short when he was killed in 1994 at just 22 years old, a tragic reminder of the same violence that Boyz n the Hood showed so powerfully. For many, Dedric will always be remembered as Dookie, the young brother with the pacifier, a symbol of innocence lost in the chaos of the streets. And finally, we have Ferris, played by Raymond D. Turner in Boyz n the Hood. Ferris was the leader of the Crenshaw Red Crips, the rival gang responsible for ending Ricky's life, making him one of the most memorable villains in black cinema history. Ferris represented the cold, unforgiving reality of gang life in South Central, where a young man's dreams could be taken away in an instant. Raymond D. Turner was 30 years old at the time, bringing a quiet menace to Ferris that made every scene he was in feel tense and real. Sadly, Raymond passed away in 2024 at the age of 63, but his performance as Ferris remains a powerful reminder of the cycles of violence that Boyz n the Hood exposed to the world, and the lives that are lost on both sides when hope gets replaced by the streets. And that's it for today's journey back into Boyz n the Hood. These faces and stories shaped a generation, reminding us of the dreams we chase, the struggles we face, and the strength we carry. If you felt this, drop a comment, let me know your favorite moment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that keep the culture alive. This is Let's Remember, honoring our stories, one classic at a time.